What's going on, everyone? So yesterday we got the trailer for MaXXXine, and in that trailer you see MaXXXine, obviously years after the events of X. We'll see how she deals and kind of goes through the trauma of that experience, right? But she's taking on Hollywood. She's a star in the Triple X world, and trying to rise into the ranks of just becoming famous. And she gets involved in a horror movie, and then chaos is very likely going to ensue. You see bodies dropping, blood flowing, right? And will MaXXXine be a part of that, right? What is going to happen? How is that going to play out? But one of the real standout elements that we got in the trailer is this underlining backstory of Richard Ramirez. So Richard Ramirez is going to tie into this upcoming MaXXXine. Now, we have seen in American Horror Story, 1985, they did their take on Richard Ramirez and kind of changed how the story of Richard Ramirez went. Now, they did keep a lot of like historical parts of it, but kind of took their own like supernatural, demonic version, right? Where he worships the devil and he has connections and contacts with the devil and he can be resurrected. It just kind of went little chaos, crazy. But I actually enjoyed that season of American Horror Story. Many people seem to really enjoy that season. I hope that MaXXXine doesn't go that approach, but I do think that this will be in the scope of that like slasher style horror film, right? Where MaXXXine, she's kind of going through her thing. She's trying to take on Hollywood. Richard Ramirez is running through Hollywood, just, taking people out as he did. And MaXXXine, does she end up taking people out in the fashion of the Night Stalker, right? And kind of try to use the Night Stalker's killings to guise her taking out of individuals in her rise to fame? Do they kind of make MaXXXine kind of go dark side, right? Because she was just a girl that was just, trying to be a star, right? She didn't necessarily want to kill anybody, but maybe now she's got that taste of blood. She saw what the Impact did. Now she's kind of rising into Hollywood and kind of taking on the mantle of Pearl, and like it's just this cycle of history repeats itself. And you have this serial killer who's running around taking people out, and MaXXXine ends up using that as her leverage to, oh, hey, this person's kind of in my way. I can get rid of this person, right? And kind of keep it within the scope and the form of the Night Stalker. And now you have this underlining story. And how do they approach, like, is there this Night Stalker MaXXXine moment, right? Does the Night Stalker find out, like, oh, this person is emulating my type of kills and approaching it the same way I am, and I don't like that. I don't need a copycat. And now Richard Ramirez is going over and trying to put an end to that. Maybe you have this big showdown with Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and MaXXXine. That could be something that could be kind of interesting, kind of a unique take to it. I would, if I had to guess, I would say that there'll probably be some type of interaction between the Night Stalker and MaXXXine, right? Maybe it's even like kind of like a love story type thing, right? Maybe that's part of it. There's a million approaches that you could take on it and kind of add your own twist and spin to the story of the Night Stalker and MaXXXine. But I also think that very likely MaXXXine, like this looks like it's going to be a slasher style thing. And my guess is MaXXXine is taking out the competition in a lot of ways, or just people that she deems as like, hey, this person is an obstacle, or this person's in my way, or man, if this person isn't here, then guess who's the new star? And oh, I didn't get the star role, so I need to take this person out now. Now 4 times in, it's like, okay, well now everyone just ended up falling out. It's like a joke that popped into my head was if you guys have ever seen Broken Lizards Club Dread, right, with Amy Aerobics, And she's like, oh, Amy Aerobics, no, she died. And that was the girl that was like the third to the right. And that person on the right ended up dying. And then like you find out, oh, now she's the new Amy Aerobics. And it's like, oh man, she unfortunately ate some rat poisoning, right? Like that's the kind of joke. Like I could see something like that playing out where MaXXXine is getting this support role, and she wants to be the star. She wants to be the main character, so she starts taking people out, which I think would be a little predictable, but again, story execution, delivery can all kind of justify that. And you have this underlining backstory of the Night Stalker, and you could tie that into MaXXXine, and it does make sense, right? How does MaXXXine get away with all her killings? How does she get away with the bloodlust? Oh, it's because there is another serial killer going on at the same time that she's just kind of emulating that killer to hide behind the murders that she's doing. So that way it's like people think the cops and everything show up and she's just like, oh no, I can't believe that. And it's like, oh, how did this person? Oh, well, it's because, it must have been Richard Ramirez, right? It must have been the Night Stalker. And now you have MaXXXine kind of feeling like, oh, wait, I can just keep doing this. I can get away with it. And then, maybe somebody stumbles across her or somebody ends up thinking it's her. She takes them out, right? You have the big chaos ensue. And then I could see at the end, the Night Stalker and MaXXXine coming to blows, going head to head. And then maybe do they change it to where MaXXXine takes out the Night Stalker? Or is she the reason he ends up getting caught? Right, when he's running through the city or whatever, or the streets, and gets taken out by all the people, is it because he's like maybe chasing down MaXXXine, and maybe she draws attention, and you kind of again do what they did in American Horror Story, where some parts were accurate, but then the overall, for the most part, they basically went their own direction, told their own story, and basically executed it in a completely different fashion, but it tied into the actual historical parts of it, right? So, I don't know, I could see some creativity, and it's just something that I think could be fun, like Night Stalker versus MaXXXine, and you have this like showdown moment, and it's this like slasher mystery whodunit. Maybe you even have this like kind of tie-in to like where maybe MaXXXine doesn't do it. Right? What if you just did something where MaXXXine it's kind of alluded to, or the misdirection of like, oh, is she killing these people, or is it really the Night Stalker? Right? Like, what's going on here? Is it no, is she really, oh, so she has to be the killer, right? And it's like, oh no, at the end it's not. It really is him. Maybe he's obsessed with her or something. Right? Maybe he's like found out something and he's like, oh, and it's like, again, this like love story. I think you go a couple directions with it, but I think it could be fun. I really do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that they should do this like Richard Ramirez Night Stalker type thing? Do you think no, that they should just kind of keep it as a backstory, and MaXXXine is kind of just using it as her way to mask things? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So me enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.